Ms. Soo-Kyung Park,
Yes.
Ms. Boyoung Yoo, Mr. Aaron Pak,
Present.
Mr. Jun Yoon,
Present.
Mr. Sergio Calle,
Here.
Mr. Ray Park,
Present.
Mr. Carl Albano,
Present.
Mr. Emilio DeAndrea,
Present.
Chris Walker,
Here.
and Tyler John.
In accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, I hereby state the notice of this regular meeting has been provided to the public by a written notice dated January 15, 2025. The meeting notice has been emailed to all staff members at the district 3 school locations, communicated to the record, filed with the Borough Clerk of Palisades Park, posted on district websites. Before we move on to work session, there is a student who are here that we like to congratulate for her recipient of the scholarship. So,
Sure. Audrey, would you please come up? So to our board and audience, Audrey is a senior, so it's a busy time of year for you, right? College applications. But she was nice enough to come here for us to recognize her. She received a very prestigious scholarship. It's from the Korean Foundation, and this is a scholarship for her. She has studied Korean for 4 years, and am I correct, it was not your first language?
yeah.
So this is a new language that she learned. She excels and works very hard according to her teacher. And I do have a official certificate here, and it says, may it be known that this certificate is presented to Audrey Suh, Palisades Park High School, 2025 Korean Class Scholarship recipient. It was issued November 8th, 2025 by the President of the Korean Language Foundation. We are extremely proud of you. We want you to keep up the good work. And please, a round of applause. President Chung, would you come up? Maybe we could do a picture.
Yeah.
I think the foundation has asked us for a picture. So there, you hold that up. Okay.
Congratulations.
We wish you the best, Audrey.
So we're going a work session to discuss our agendas and resolutions, starting with the meeting minutes. So board members, that anyone has any correction request or discussion on the meeting minutes, October 15, 2025 regular business meeting minutes, and October 15, 2025 executive session meeting minutes. Any correction request? Discussion? If not, let's move on to committee reports. Building and ground, Mr. Aaron Park, could you read the agenda?
Okay. There are 3 items for the consent agenda. First item, Palisades Park Little League player evaluation. Be resolved that the Palisades Park Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approves the Palisades Park Little League to use the high school gym for player evaluation on the following dates from 12 to 5. January 11th, 25th, and February 1st. PTA Friendsgiving Social. And the third is the Learn and Grow Academy Holiday Concert. That is all for the consent agenda.
Thank you. So all board members, I think I'll just share with the building and ground committee members. But according to our policy 1330, use of the school facilities, that I think the board may need to amend the policy or we have to approve it in condition of some advice by our attorney too. So, Mr. Bande, if our policy states that the use of school facilities should not be granted for the advantage of any commercial or profit-making organizations, private social functions, or any purpose which is prohibited by law. And there's some other provisions on there, but we probably have to amend our policy before we approve these agendas, or I think you previously once advised that there are some ways that we can temporarily approve.
Yes, I mean, so, if you want to be very, very technical and formal, the board could go through the process of suspending its use of facilities policy and then approving this. And I think the issue that you're saying is that because one of these...
Not all is director school related, and I think one is profit organization, so.
Is a for-profit? You know, I think also the board could just vote to approve an exception to the policy, and understanding and not necessarily need to go through the two-step process, but I'm looking for, I think I actually have a copy of the policy on suspending policies.
Policy.
That's on suspending policies.
And so if I may just elaborate, we of course welcome our nonprofit, our PTA, scouting, all of those organizations to use the school. It's a public school district. It belongs to the community. There is one request from a for-profit organization that has used it in the past, and my understanding is they're very respectful, and it is a short time at the high school, just for a ceremony in the auditorium. So I think, you know, going forward, we probably want to maybe set up a fee structure for outside organizations that would be for-profit organizations. But for this evening, especially that this preschool has used our building in the past, the board might want to consider making an exception. And Aaron, we'll look for your guidance on how to proceed.
I mean, the board certainly has the power to do that, and frankly, looking over the suspension of policy, I don't think we even need to go through a two-step process. We can just, if the board wants to approve that,
We can just add the language that in suspension about policy.
right, or even just with a waiver of the, with the waiver of the for-profit limit for Learn and Grow Academy.
Any other discussions? And so the board will discuss whether we want to establish fee structure for the future renters, or amend or create new policies on this use of the school buildings and grounds. And that will be our further discussion. But for tonight, do you have any other discussion on these three agendas? If not, so move on to education. Ms. Sugyangka, could you read the agendas?
Yes. So we have 4 agendas to be presented today. And also we have 10 field trips. First, Bergen County Community College, Lyndhurst. The second, Lindbergh Elementary School. Third, Ritchiefield Nature Center. Fourth, Palisades Park Pool. And fifth, Palisades Park Pool. Sixth, the Growing Stage Theater. Seventh, the Power Up Arena. Eighth, AMC Ritchiefield Park. Ninth, the Prudential Center. Tenth, Repertorial Espanol Theaters. So we have a second agenda, disposal of math textbooks. And then Palisades Park Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approves the disposal of math textbooks from 2005 and 2011 at the Palisades Park Junior High School. The third agenda, approval of world language policy. The Palisades Park Board of Education, upon the recommendations of the superintendent, approves the world language school policy, which provides clear guidelines for world language course selection, placement, sequencing, and graduation requirements, ensuring alignment with state regulations, academic rigor, and college readiness. The fourth, approval of QSAC District Performance Review Submission. The Palisades Park Board of Education approves the completion of the New Jersey QSAC District Performance Review for all required areas and authorize the superintendent and board secretary to submit the DPR and the supporting documents to the New Jersey Department of Education. Okay, that's all.
Thank you. Any discussion and questions? And for agenda under education.
Item 2, that's for 2005 and 2011, 2 years, or 2005, 2011?
2011, correct?
Yes. Yes, these are older math textbooks that are no longer aligned with the standards. So they haven't been used in many years, but they were in one of our classrooms stored. And to free up some space, we no longer use the books, so we're asking the board permission to dispose of them. They're very old.
Right, I mean, 2005 and 2011, or 2005, 2011?
No, there's some books that are copyright 2005, and then another batch from 2011.
Okay.
Because, thank you for raising. I think I misunderstood. I thought it's from the 2005 version to 2011 as well too. So that's the version. Okay, any other discussions? If not, next business item is finance. Chairperson Boyoung is not here tonight, so Mr. Jurnik, could you read the agendas?
Yep, so BOE is the finance chair, but she's not here, so there's 15 consent agendas, 15 items, consent agenda for 15 items. So number 1 is staff member visitation workshops. Be it resolved that Palisades Park Board of Ed, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the request following request for professional visitation and workshops. You have the dates on it and the staff members. Number 2, tuition reimbursement. Be it resolved that Palisades Park Board of Ed, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approves the following tuition reimbursement. And we have the named staff member with the college and course name. Number 3, approval of the November bill list. Be it resolved that Palisades Park Board of Ed, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approves the November bill list in the amount of $1,856,745.34. And the breakdown is there, 10, 20, 30, and 60. Approval of payroll. Be it resolved that Palisades Park Board of Ed, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approves the following payroll amounts: October 30th payroll and November 15th payroll. Acceptance of donation to the PHS Athletic Department.
Be it resolved that Palisades Park Board of Ed, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, gratefully accepts $50 donation to the Palisades Park Junior Senior High School Athletic Department from Anthony Coppola. Number 6, student activities account. Be it resolved that Palisades Park Board of Ed, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, accept the financial reports for the high school and Lindbergh School activity accounts for the month ending October 30th. It's on file in the BOE office if anyone would take a look at it. Number 7, out-of-district contracts. ECLC of New Jersey. Term is 25 to 26 SY. Base tuition and additional services. Number 7. And number 8, approval of agreement with Propio LS LLC. Be it resolved that Palisades Park Board of Ed, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the rates outlined in the agreement with Propio LS LLC for interpretation services. Number 9, approval of agreement with Diligent Boards. Be it resolved that the Palisades Park Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the agreement with Diligent Board to use Diligent Community Platform with the annual subscription of $5,100 effective December 1 to June 30th, 2026. Number 10, rescission of final eligible cost determination for the ECC renovation project. Be it resolved that Palisades Park Board of Ed, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, rescinds the final eligible costs FEC determination of a school facility project for a regular operating district seeking a grant made possible through an allocation of Federal American Rescue Plan Act. Dollars in the fiscal year 2023. Budget letter dated in 2024 in the amount of $5.100,152 for the interior renovation of Dr. Charles Smith Early Childhood Center. Number 11, purchase of materials for school preschool parent literacy night. Be it resolved that the Palisades Park Board of Ed, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the purchase of 30 copies of the book, Those Shoes by Maribeth Bolts, to be handed out to parents as part of training. Total cost of $210 will be paid by the PEA funds. Number 12, student transportation contract. Be it resolved that the Palisades Park Board of Ed, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the parental contracts for student transportations for 25 and 26 school year. Number 13, budget calendar. Be it resolved that the Palisades Park Board of Ed, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the budget calendar for the proposed purpose of developing the budget for 26-27 school year. Number 14, comprehensive maintenance plan, 25-26. The Department of Education requires New Jersey school districts to submit 3-year maintenance plans documenting required maintenance activities for each of the public schools facilities, whereas the required maintenance activities is listed in the attached document for various school facilities. Whereas all past and planned activities are reasonable to keep school facilities open and safe. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Palisades Park Board of Ed, at the recommendation of the superintendent, hereby authorize the interim business administrator to submit a comprehensive maintenance plan for Palisades Park School District in compliance with the Department of Education. And 15, approval of additional bill payments. Be it resolved that Palisades Park Board of Ed, upon the recommendation of superintendent, approves the interim business administrator to pay additional bills through the next Board of Education on December 17, 2025.
And that should be Board of Education meeting. I forgot to submit that.
Board of Education meeting on December 17, 2025.
Thank you.
Additional bills. She'll pay the additional bills. Board of Education meeting on December 17th.
Thank you. Any questions and discussions for 15 finance agendas? Any question? No? If not, let's discuss the personnel agendas. Chairperson, Mr. Junli, I'm sorry that you have a lot of reading tonight.
So there is, in personnel, there's 11 consent agendas. Number 1 is appointment of staff. Be it resolved that the Board of Ed, upon recommendation, superintendent approves the appointment of the following personnel for 25-26 school year. We have the employee's name, position, and salary, and the starting dates. Number 2 is request for leave. Be it resolved that Palisades Park Board of Ed, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approves the following leave request, effective staff number 4812, effective January 5th, 26. Resignation of staff. Be it resolved that Palisades Park Board of Ed accepts the following resignation. Stephanie Emmerling, first grade teacher, December 11, 2025. Number 4, salary adjustment request. Be it resolved that the Palisades Park Board of Ed, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approves the salary adjustment request as follows. Christine Kim, Danielle Bruno, and Lexa Luris. Number 5, resignation of assistant boys basketball coach. Be it resolved that Palisades Park Board of Ed accepts the resignation of Joan Reisman as the assistant boys basketball coach of Palisades Park Junior and Senior High School. Number 6, appointment of PPHS co-curricular positions. Be it resolved that the Palisades Park Board of Ed, upon the recommendation, approve the following co-curricular positions at Palisades Junior and Senior High School for the 25-26 school year. And number 7, appointment of Lindbergh After School Program faculty. Be it resolved that Palisades Park Board of Ed, upon the recommendation, superintendent approves the appointment of the faculty at Lindbergh. And number 8, appointment of intervention and referral services, INRS coordinators. Be it resolved that the Palisades Park Board of Ed, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the appointment of the following intervention and referral services coordinators for 25-26 school year, to be compensated at $45 non-instructional rate for up to 10 hours per month. Number 9, preschool literacy night. Be it resolved that the Palisades Park Board of Ed, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the following staff to work for the preschool parent literacy night, taking place on November 20, 2025, 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Number 10, approval of additional teaching assignments for teachers. Be it resolved that the Palisades Park Board of Ed, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the following assignment of teachers to teach 6-period classes during 25-26 school year with compensation as outlined in the teacher's contract. Eleven is rescission of staff appointments. Be it resolved that Palisades Park Board of Ed, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, rescinds the November 17, 2025 appointment of Brianna Campobelli.
Thank you, Mr. Junli. So, board, do you have any questions and discussion in personnel agendas? No questions? Today, very quiet. Okay, so, then let's move on to the next committee, which is School Safety and Security Committee. And the chairperson, Ms. Rebecca Lee, is not here tonight, so I'll just read the one agenda. As acknowledgements of the bus evacuation drill, be it resolved that the Palisades Park Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, acknowledges the following statements. On Monday, November 3rd, 2025 at 8:45 a.m., the Early Childhood Center principal, Ms. Julian Romero, oversaw the school bus emergency evacuation drill conducted at 270 First Street outside of the main entrance. All kindergarten students were evacuated from buses before attending their field trip. The board acknowledges the building principal's adherence to district policy and procedure concerning the performance of the required emergency exit drills on the date and time stated as stipulated by 6A27-11.2. Do you have any question? If not, there's not other committee reports tonight, so may I have a motion to close work session and move into regular session?
I make a motion. I'll second.
Who made the second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
An extension? Now, it's time for the reports of board presidents. I don't have a specific reports tonight, but just for next week, we wish you all a happy Thanksgiving in advance. And there are a few winter events in town. And one is the holiday tree lighting, December 6th in front of the Borough Hall at 5 p.m. And there are 3 other events that will be held in school. But since Mr. Vano has a nicer voice, so I'll be happy that you couldn't announce the 3 events. But our thanks to PTA for inviting us for your friendly social events, and then and also Lindenberg School and the high school concert team for their efforts to make that happen and inviting us. We'll try our best to make the day to be a part of the event. Thank you. And Mr. Arbano?
Sure. I also want to wish our students and parents and teachers and staff and board, very nice Thanksgiving with your families and loved ones. I hope you enjoy some relaxing, well-deserved time off. I also just want to let the board know, you may remember we approved this back in October, but the Palisades Park Police Department conducted on November 6th and 7th, when schools were closed, they conducted active shooter training here in this building at the Early Childhood Center. In years past, they did trainings at the high school as well as Lindbergh Elementary School. Now they have trained here, and the real advantage of this is getting our police department familiar with the interior of the schools. Certainly they know our community, and they're very supportive of the school districts. They're out patrolling the streets in front of the buildings, arrival, dismissal, we appreciate all that, but really understanding the layout of the interior of schools is helpful just in case there's ever an emergency situation. So thanks to our police department. Also, I want to recognize that the district has done a Thanksgiving drive. I know community members have very generously donated food, frozen turkeys, many things where here at the ECC they're putting together baskets and they're going to give them out to families in need early next week. If you're interested, and there's still time to donate, if anyone is interested, most of all, what they need, I believe, are frozen turkeys. And if you're willing to, on Thursday and Friday, we could still accept them and make sure they get to families that could benefit from that. Also, I just want to recognize the early childhood staff, the leadership. New Jersey State, once a year, comes in and does a review of all of the preschool and kindergarten programs. Of course, as you know, we have a significant grant from the state and a very successful program. I was on site and we visited our classrooms here at the ECC, a couple of classrooms at Lindbergh, and also we have a partnership with the New Christian Academy. They just did extensive renovations, and that partnership is recent and was recognized by the state as a very positive thing. Just to give a few quotes from the feedback, and I'll give the board the entire report, but all sites have equitable instructional materials and positive learning environments. Classrooms were child-friendly. It was clear that students are active participants in their classroom environment. Classroom layouts were appropriate and maximized to the best of the teacher's ability. Positive teacher interactions were displayed. Also, other observations that are in the report, that there were vast amounts of learning materials, strong visuals and props in each learning center to engage and redirect students, strong theme evidence, environmental print displays, child-made props in most classrooms, new upgraded materials, blocks, magnetiles, things such as that, and evidence of pyramid model in most classrooms and at district sites. Curriculum appears to be implemented with fidelity through learning activities and materials. So there are many more positive comments. The only recommendations really were for continued professional development with our teachers, giving them time to collaborate and compare and make sure they're aligned in what they're delivering. But really, the state liaison was very impressed. And it was nice to get that feedback and reinforcement of the work that's happening. Also, our school social workers organize a pantry and wardrobe pickup for families in need. And every third Wednesday at Lindbergh, donated items, we accept donated items and clothing and things such as that, and make sure they get to families who can benefit from that clothing. Recognizing the PTA, Sue did mention this, but they do a lot for us, but they recently had a successful book fair. We appreciate that. And there is a holiday shop on December 4th and 5th for children who want to purchase gifts for their families. Also, the holiday event, as mentioned, Friendsgiving, I think is something fairly new. Lindbergh Elementary School this Friday at 6 p.m. Also, the Lindbergh Winter Concert is scheduled for Tuesday, December 16th, and the high school concert is Thursday, December 18th, and we look forward to both of those events. I know the students are practicing and working hard, preparing for these concerts, which should be wonderful. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Barnes. So next, the report of the Board of Tony, Mr. Aaron Mandel. Do you have any report
Nothing to report.
today? Okay. Next, approval of board minutes. May I have a motion to approve two meeting minutes dated October 15, 2025. One is regular business meeting minute, the other is executive meeting minutes. May I have a motion? Mr. Arunbach made a motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
No extension? Next, building and grounds. We have 3 consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve these 3 with a waiver of the for-profit organization for use of our school facility policy?
I'll make the motion.
Who made the motion? Mr. Arunbach made the motion, and may I have a second?
I second.
Mr. Kim, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No abstention? The motion passed. Next, we have a full consent agenda in education. May I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Mr.
I
Arun-
second.
Ms. Soo-kyung Park, second. All in favor?
Aye.
No objection, abstention? Any? The full resolution are passed. Next item is finance. We have 15 finance consent agendas for approval. May I have a motion to approve 15 consent agenda in finance?
I make the motion.
I'll second.
Would you please take a roll call?
Ms. Soo Chung,
Yes?
Mr. Sergio Kaya,
Yes.
Mr. Ray Park,
Yes.
Mr. Junior,
Yes.
Ms. Soo-kyung Park,
Yes.
Mr. Aaron Park.
Yes.
So 15 finance agenda and resolution were approved. So we have 11 consent agenda in personnel. May I have a motion to approve 11 personnel agendas and resolutions?
the motion. Second.
Ms. Grace Lee, could you take a roll call?
Ms. Yu Chang,
Yes?
Mr. Sergio Kaya,
Yes.
Mr. Ray Park,
Yes.
Mr. Jun Yoo,
Yeah?
Ms. Soo Young Park,
Yes.
Mr. Aaron Park,
Yes.
So 11 resolutions in personnel were approved. The next business item is School Safety and Security Committee. We have one agenda to acknowledge the bus evacuation drill. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No abstention? Good. May I have a motion to close our regular session and open our meeting to the public?
I'll make a motion.
Who made the motion first? And Mr. Bach might be, you second. All in favor?
Aye.
Abstention. So now our meeting is open to the public. So each speaker has a 3-minute limit, and please state your name and address to identify the speaker. Mr. Okinaga?
Anthony Ricardo. So I come here for a sad reason. Again, we have another resignation. This one hits home very hard for me. My son is in Mrs. Emmerling's class. He's flourishing in Mrs. Emmerling's class. She's been teaching here her entire career. It's heartbreaking to see that she's leaving. Again, I've never seen such, I don't know, I can't call it anything else other than destruction of a district of so many people leaving. It's sad. It really is. And what I'd really like to know is who will be in that classroom on December 16th. Who's teaching my son and Olivia over there? Who's teaching them? Who's teaching those first graders when these are very important steps in their learning process? Okay? So that's one question. Two, since nobody questioned it, I will question it. I'd like to know more about why we rescinded, this would be under, I guess, finance number 10, the ECC renovation project. I figured that might have prompted somebody on the board before approving it as to, hey, why are we not going to try and get $5 million for ECC renovations? I was hoping that somebody would ask it, but since somebody did, I will. Finally, maintenance. So 2 things under maintenance. One, I work the elections for you guys. I'm what they call a super poll worker, so I help all of the districts within Palisades Park. And consistently, among all of the different districts of the voting, the coldest rooms are the 3 rooms that we have at Limerick School, the 2 music rooms, and the art room. None of the heating systems worked. They came in and turned them on. All it did was create a jackhammer noise in the rooms, no heat. And that was November 4th. So it's colder now. I don't know if the systems work now, but I know that we were talking about in the summertime HVAC units being put in that were slowed down. Where's the heat in the schools? Because if we as adults were freezing, I can't imagine what my son and a lot of the other kids are going through when they sit in those art rooms or music rooms, and I don't even know about the rest of the school. Secondly, there are giant potholes on your track, enough so that I'm tripping on them. You guys have track out there. I don't want to see my son trip, come home with a scratched chin or something like that. You do the turkey trot out there and things like that. They're pretty big holes. I'd like to make sure that that's under maintenance items. So again, concerned parent, bringing these to you guys. I'd appreciate answers on those 4 questions. Thank you.
Any other speaker? If not, may I have a motion to close the public participation session?
I'll make a motion.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No abstention? Thank you. So, Mr. Rotundo, most of your questions that our answer to our administrators. But for the finance number 10, I think the board needs more time to discuss from the very beginning, that we need to find more clearance and we also need further discussion with other governing body, including library board and the Borough Hall as well. But I'm pretty sure that we all work for the public benefits purpose. And the Board of Education and the school district will be the entity that will put the student to benefit and their need to meet their needs the first. And so the rest of parts that our Mr. Medio, would you please explain the number
Good morning.
finance? Yeah, finance number 10.
Back in 2023, the board administration applied for a grant. They had to go through a process of submitting paperwork. They received the final eligible cost sheet on December 10th, 2024, and part of the grant agreement was that the project must complete the construction of the project by September 30th, 2026. The project never moved forward in any way, shape, or fashion. Part of the grant requirement that I received from our architects is that you must rescind the funding since you cannot complete the project by June 30th, 2026. Neither myself or Mr. Albano can explain why it did not move forward. We just know that it did not move forward, and there's no possible way that you can complete a project of adding additional classrooms to this building in less than 1 year. So they're required to rescind it at this point in time.
Thank you, Mr. Medio. Yes, Mr. Albano, would you like to answer some of the questions from Mr. Rotundo?
Yes, I will, respond to, we do have a teacher, yet another teacher resignation, Ms. Stephanie Emmerling. I've heard nothing but positive about her and her work, so it's a loss to the district. There's no question. We learned about this, I believe it was maybe three weeks ago. We have immediately started searching. There are ongoing interviews right now. I know the principals have done demonstration lessons. It's a difficult time to hire, but we will do our best. So I can't at this point in time tell you exactly the name of a teacher who will be taking over that assignment. We're optimistic because you do oftentimes have mid-year graduates from college teaching programs. Not everyone completes the program exactly at the end of June, some do in December. So we may have to use a permanent sub, to be very transparent with you, but we want quality and we're not going to settle. And we have, we've done outreach to local universities that have teaching programs, and we're optimistic that we will be able to secure someone, certified qualified person, but I don't have a name this evening. Also, you listed a lot of maintenance issues. I would absolutely agree that there are a lot of needs in the area of maintenance. As we start to build the budget, I think we're going to look at the department, the structure of the facilities department here at the school, as well as budgeting some money to address some of these issues. But there are some things that hopefully we can address immediately. I was not aware of the potholes on the track, but we can take a look at that ASAP. My understanding, though, of the heating, Emilio and I have been very on top of the heating with the team. We may have had a cold day or two, but I do think the music and art room are at a comfortable temperature now. There are minimum requirements for temperatures. I'm assured by our facilities department that we're maintaining that, but as the weather cooled down and the heat kicked in, we did learn of a few rooms, but we tried to address that immediately. So I will personally visit Lindbergh and check on the music and art room, but I think if it was below, let's say 70, in the mid-60s, I think I would have heard about that. But the potholes we will address as soon as possible. And I will tell you, there are other maintenance issues. And again, I think some of them are going to require budgeting, allocating funds, and tackling them probably in the summer, and ongoing. We have old buildings, and there's a lot of work. There's roofing, there's drainage. The HVAC at the high school is near completion, so we're hoping to be able to announce that. We don't need air conditioning now, we have heat. The air conditioning should be in place and very confident for the spring.
Thank you, Mr. Urbano. And, so may I have a motion, before I request a motion, that the board will have a closed session to discuss legal matters and negotiations. It might take more than 30 minutes if I anticipate it. You may remain here too, or just you can leave as well if that's so. Have a good night and thanks for making your meeting here. And the formal action may be taken after the closed session, but no action will be taken during the closed session. Thank you. May I have a motion to move on to the closed session?
I'll make a motion.
May I have a second?
Yes, second.
Ms. Suryongba. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.